Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and I'm going to say this before the start of both these videos that I'm uploading, both the players to watch video and the preview video. I don't know how many of you are on Instagram or anything like that, but I do want to point this out, and I will, post the clip here after I'm done talking, don't you worry. But from this moment forward, moving on with the rest of the fan base and the rest of the season or whatever, Ndamukong Suh is now to be referred to as Big Girl. I'm not joking. That is according to Vita Vea. That is what Vita Vea has been calling Ndamukong Suh now for the past couple of weeks. He has been calling him Big Girl. That is what Vita Vea has been calling Ndamukong Suh. I cannot stress that enough. This is basically Vita Vea's orders. So if you ever tag Ndamukong Suh in something on Twitter or Instagram, hey, why don't you call him Big Girl and tag me in it, okay? I want to see it because I think it's absolutely hilarious. Another thing to note here is this. According to Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea is now to be referred to as Fufu. I'm not joking. Again, I will post the clip here after I'm done talking. According to Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea's nickname now is Fufu. So again, much like what I just said with Ndamukong Suh, if you decide to tag Vita Vea in anything on Twitter or Instagram, please call him Fufu. And again, can't stress this enough, please tag me in it so I can either A, screenshot it, or B, retweet it and just share it with the entire world because I think that it is absolutely hilarious. But guys, with that being said, I will show you the clip of them calling each other the names and then we will get into the video.
Hey, those shits are hard. You got it.
Appreciate it. Look at Big Girl.
You got all that. Big Girl has some nice fronts in.
Big Girl, look at Big Girl. Look at Big Girl. Look at that. Oh.
I'm Big Girl. That's Fupa. Turn around on the camera. Fupa. Fupa action.
So guys, I know these videos are like really cutting it down to the wire. I apologize for that. These are going to be going up at like 3 a.m., but it's okay. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Who cares? But the first player that I want to talk about that you guys should keep an eye on versus the Detroit Lions, it's going to be Shaq Barrett. Again, I've been saying this for weeks now, but now we're like really close. Last week versus the Indianapolis Colts, it was said that Shaq Barrett only got a half sack and William Golston also got a half sack versus the Colts, and that put Shaq Barrett's total at 15 sacks. He needed 1.5 more sacks to tie Warren Sapp's record for most sacks in Buccaneers franchise history in 1 year. But no, they stat corrected that and they gave Shaq Barrett the full sack, which means now Shaq Barrett is only 1 sack away from tying Warren Sapp's single season sack record for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Huge. He's going up against a very banged up Detroit Lions team. I will talk about that more in the preview video. But the point I'm trying to make here is that Shaq may not only tie the record in this upcoming game versus the Lions, he could very well break the record. So very exciting. I know I've been saying it for weeks now. I know I sound like a broken record, but this is the week to pay attention to Shaq Barrett, okay? He could very well not just tie the record for Warren Sapp's single season sack record for the Buccaneers, but he could very well break it as well. Next guy I want to talk about, Jameis Winston. And I know everybody's going to say, oh, James, you've been saying, keep an eye on Jameis Winston forever now. And we've talked about a lot of the good of Jameis Winston this year. And we talked about a lot of the bad of Jameis Winston this year. And I even mentioned it last week. It is what it is. It still is what it is, okay? I'm not going to take a side in the Jameis Winston debate, quite frankly. I'm a little tired of talking about it, okay? It hasn't really bred much great conversation amongst the Buccaneers fan bases. So I'm just not going to talk about it that much anymore or pick a side or anything. But the point I'm trying to make here is that Jameis Winston is very close to leading the league in passing yards for this year for the entire NFL. I believe he's only a handful of yards behind Dak Prescott right now, and he's also a handful of touchdown passes from being the league leader in touchdown passes. He is now currently behind Lamar Jackson, which, good Lord, Lamar Jackson, he is having one heck of a season. But yeah, very close to both those milestones. He's obviously going to finish in the top 5 at least, if not potentially have the lead in both those categories. So pay attention to Jameis Winston. We know he gets a whole heck of a lot of yards. It seems like he's probably got a pretty realistic chance of leading the league in passing yards this year, which is huge. It's awesome in my opinion. That is a really cool milestone for him. But also pay attention to the passing touchdowns as well. He does have a chance. It's not a great chance, but he does have a chance of leading the league in that category as well. Finally, guys, the last people I want to talk about, and I know this is short, I do apologize for that. I've just been really busy, okay? Not to get, too deep into it, but hey, I just finished my school of semester. I had final exams, so hooray, I can finally take a little bit of break and focus more on the YouTube videos. But the last guys that I want to focus on are the backup wide receivers for this game. I'm talking about guys like Scotty Miller, Brashad Perriman, and Justin Watson. Now, they did just promote a wide receiver from the practice squad to the active roster. His name is Ishmael Hyman. He has been on the practice squad for a little bit now, as has been Amara Darboh, but he is not even on the current roster or practice squad right now. They could bring him back to the practice squad. Keep an eye on that, but I specifically want to talk about, again, Scotty Miller, Brashad Perriman, and Justin Watson. Now, Justin Watson and Brashad Perriman, we know what they've been able to do. Justin Watson had his big breakout game last week, and Brashad Perriman has now strung together two very, very solid games, both against the Colts and in the previous game before that. So the point I'm trying to make here is that with the injury to Mike Evans, with his hamstring injury, he is labeled as out for this upcoming game. You're going to be seeing a lot of double teams on, budding star, not just for the Buccaneers, but just for the entire NFL wide receiver, Chris Godwin. He's going to be getting double teamed a lot. He's going to be seeing a ton of Darius Slay. That's where guys like Scotty Miller, Brashad Perriman, and Justin Watson come in, and also O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate. But I expect, Scotty Miller, Brashad Perriman, and Justin Watson to really pick up the slack of not just missing Mike Evans in his entirety, but also Chris Godwin dealing with not just Darius Slay, but also the rest of the Detroit Lions secondary as well. So, yeah, really excited to see how these guys do. Scotty Miller, he is returning from injury. That is a big deal because he was putting together some pretty nice games, putting together some pretty nice performances just overall before he sustained his injury. So he's coming back. Brashad Perriman's on a roll, and Justin Watson just had his best game of his entire career. So, yeah, look for these guys to add something to the passing game versus the Lions. And guys, I'm not gonna lie, that's it for this video. I know I could name a ton of other players, and I will just real quick. Devin White, Levante David, Vita Vea, all the guys. I sound like a broken record here, but all the guys. Pay attention to all the guys. Can't say it enough. This team has looked so much better the second half of the year. Seriously, the past 5 games were 4-1. That's awesome. And, I'm not gonna say this is gonna be an easy win. Again, anything can happen in the NFL, but I personally am confident versus this Detroit Lions team. We will see how the game goes at the end of the day, but yeah, just pay attention to everybody as always. But I specifically wanted to point out the guys that I mentioned because of their current situations, be it injuries or even certain guys leading the league in certain categories in the case of Shaq Barrett and Jameis Winston. I thought that those were very important things to keep an eye on. So yeah, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you in the preview video that will be up very, very shortly as well. And, if you aren't able to watch these videos, I will see you in the live stream reactions videos with Gabby versus the Detroit Lions. But guys, hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.